TSN.
Well, she's been pretty solid on the pocket. She's 3 for 4. It's just about getting some breaks. Chop off in the second, right corner in the third. Got to get back to the side of the head.
There's one. Boy, that was a bit of a break. That 3-pin just sort of backing in, you know, bottoms up and right into it to get the strike.
Thin on the right-hand side, going away with the backup. She got the 3-pin, the left 3-pin took out that left corner pin. Come back.
Never did.
Wide left.
Always nice to see family who travel with the bowlers, and Tracy's mom, Yvette Boyer, is here, and we welcome her to Frank Sisson's Silver Dollar Bowl and Casino.
Wow, that's 2 misses on the head pin for Tracy, and both times she's opened. Missed it right, missed it left. Both on lane 33, the left-hand lane here at Silver Dollar.
That's curious, huh?
Well, that's 2 in a row. She's left 10 pins on the lane in those 2 misses in the 4th and 6th frames now. Talk about openings. Openings don't always come just from the head pin miss. They come from not picking up all your wood on the...
And it does leave you talking to yourself as Tracy tries to figure out what's going on. Chris Monchak.
A little more break on the ball that time. Solid in the pocket. Replay. Pretty upright at the foul line, but she's got great extension. Gets the ball out on the lane, lets it react. You can see how much movement that had. It drove the 3-pin into the channel and right around that left corner.
And she manages to get the spare. In fact, you hear some, there are some who get so low that the ball out of their hand barely makes a sound. With that upright delivery, you know when she's throwing it because it's landing, and you can hear it land.
And there can be the possibility, depending on how high the trajectory is, that you actually take some of the rotation off the bowling ball when it lands. So there's always that danger.
Tough.
Again, as long as you're consistent with speed and location, you'll be fine. Tough break on that one for Chris. Thick in the pocket, leaves that split. She'll go left side, try and pick up the 3-2.
Can you squeeze this over or she goes to the outside? No, it wouldn't come back for her.
It's possible. A little tougher for Chris on that shot with the curve. If you threw a backup, you might be able to sneak the 3-pin over. She'll be happy to get out of this frame and pick up 15.
You just know that when they turn around. So an open here in the 7th with a 179. And a chance now for Tracy Anseth.
7th frame, needs a strike. Force a little bit, maybe. You know, she knows where she is in the match. She was down 50 pins. Had to have a strike to get back into this. High backswing that she gets down low at the foul line. Very smooth, nice follow through. Watch the reaction we get here, right on the nose. Drove the head pin straight back. Boy, in a match like this that's still tight, Tracy's really going to be shaking her head over leaving this many pins
No, you
on
can't
the
afford
pin deck.
it, can you?
Wow. 8 more. That's 18 pins she's left on the pin deck in 3 frames. Could be the difference in this match.
Tried to overpower it. And as we've seen, you don't have to do that. I mean, think back to what Brenda Walters did last week. Brenda's strikes actually came when she didn't overpower the rack. She just let it happen. You know, the ball would just roll over, go from left to right, and just take out the pins, and there wasn't a big fuss or ado about it.
It's not about speed or strength. It's all about location and how much rotation you have on the bowling ball.
Very much in control now, Chris Monchak.
8th frame with a chance to really put a final on this one. That ball broke way away from the head pin that time.
You can see her going right over and picking up the towel and, wiping off excess oil?
It's happening. There's a lot of oil on the front end of the lanes, and it actually stays on the surface of the bowling ball, so that can affect their grip. It can affect the way the ball actually rolls.
Oh, good break, boy.
She did get a big break. She asked to hold it. She wanted the ball to stop rolling because she knew she was going to be tight on it. Good extension and follow through.
She wasn't very far away if she was just punching that straight through.
Not very far away at all. The 3-pin just about went straight in front of the corner pin as well. Oh yeah. That time the ball turned over. She was actually in the left-hand pocket. See a little bit of movement with her slide foot there. It's like she's not 100% stable at the foul line, but she's got such great release.
And you don't know why. Well, you do say, look, maybe it is due to the elbow. You start thinking about things like that, but it happens to all athletes, no matter what the experience. We don't know what also gets in the head.
Absolutely not. And, we look at the way Tracy started. Great ball in the first frame, gets a strike, throws a pretty decent ball and a chop off. Another pretty decent ball and leaves the right corner pin. Now you start to press a little bit. It's like it's not 100% perfect, so I'm going to make an adjustment. I'll change something. And if Tracy did, it hasn't really worked out this game. A little bit of a smile. No, she's just not quite there this game. A great shot that time, except for the fact she punched the 3-pin on the first ball.
Tracy Anseth, who has won more than $17,000 in TV money.
That ball center arrow starts to break back into the pocket exactly where she wanted it. With that 3-pin gone though, you got to hit it really thin to slide the head pin all the way over.
Last year she made it to the quarterfinals of the Canadian Bowling Championship. This year just not playing very well. Still able to smile about it, however. Yeah, the first woman to repeat as a Pins Game champion.
Very, very difficult to do.
Finishes with a 13 count and a 178, and that's well below her league average of 260. But what a return for this lady. Chris Monchak of Winnipeg. Been 9 years since we've seen her on TV with our coverage here on TSN.
Play this string out and get ready for the next match. This is all about now making good shots, maybe making little minor adjustments. Make sure you get it to the pocket and you get it on the side of the head pin.
I'm going to go back to what we talked about when we opened our show, is the consistency. And there certainly is a more consistent scorecard for Chris Monchak.
She's been solid on the middle, and she's made her spares. That one was really wide.
Still manages to bowl at 264. Congratulations to Chris Monchak. And we welcome her back to TSN. She will advance. And now awaits the winner of Renee Laframboise and Tammi Herman. Second week, women's 5-pin play, second game of the Canadian Bowling Championships. And we welcome Renee Laframboise from Azilda, Ontario, part of the greater Sudbury area, and Tammi Herman from Maple Ridge, BC. And it will be Renee to begin play here. And a deep breath. It's all different.
19 years old, first shot at an adult tournament.
Nice start.
Great start. Sets the ball early on the lane, but she's got really smooth at the foul line and gets good lift on it.
Now punches the head pin, Tammi Herman, who makes her 5th straight appearance here on TSN.
Repeat from last year. She was in show 3. Good cleanup.
This is the part of the game, the focus. You know, you so want that strike. You don't get it. You punch. Now you have to say, you know what? All right. What's important now? Get all the pitches.
Exactly. Clean up your wood, then forget about that frame and come back. Make a good shot. Get the kind of ball reaction you're looking for. Watch the speed and the location. Make sure the reaction's what you need in order to get strikes. That one looked like she forced it just a little bit. You could see in the arm swing. Kind of almost pushed her elbow out. There it is, better shot on the inside on that spare. Not much moving on that. Renee says she throws the ball straight. The speed at which she throws it and the amount of oil on this lane, it probably does go mostly straight. But when people say that, all our fingers are different lengths. The ball's got to come off the hand at a little bit different time. It's going to impart some spin on it. See, that one almost curved on her. Again, tough count on a strike in the first frame.
Wow. 3 balls, 3 in the same spot for Renee Laframboise. She's a rookie in TV competition, Renee Laframboise from Mazilda, Ontario, going against the veteran in Tammi Herman from Maple Ridge, BC. And after the strike, she tossed the open and now comes back with a strike in 3.
Looked like the first frame. Good, solid at the foul line. Good speed. She gets down really low. There's not much trajectory on that ball. She's almost got it on the lane right at the foul line.
Tammi Herman making it to the semifinals of last year's Canadian Bowling Championships.
That time she got the ball left. And not much backup on it. Not much movement. Never came back to the pocket. She'll want this on the inside between the 2-pin and the 3-pin, and good cover again by Tammi.
So back-to-back spares after the open to start.
Very smooth delivery. Little bit of rotation in that backup. Good cover. Oh, looking for a little string pull there. Good shot. A little bit thick. Again, with the rotation on the bowling ball, she broke that possible worst scenario up. Leaves herself a right corner pin. Good cover again by Tammi. 3 spares in a row.
Always nice to see Tammy's husband Bob. He's a former competitor in the men's play. He finished 4th in this year's BC provincials to get here. Renee.
Wow.
How did that jump over there? It was like a hurdler.
Left hand pocket, the head pin and the 3-pin both went up over top and around that right corner pin. Watch the bowling ball reaction. Left hand pocket. One over top, one around the front. Pretty solid game for a 19-year-old. Nothing, doesn't look like anything's phasing her at the moment.
Renee, who's in her first year of kinesiology studies at Laurentian University.
Boy, she really likes that left-hand lane. That's 3 strikes in a row on the left-hand lane, all of them in the left-hand pocket.
Tammi Herman, who works for West Coast Nissan as a vehicle clerk. That's responding now.
That's 2 in a row that she's been right-hand pocket, little bit thick. This time she breaks it up. Left 3-pin is the last thing to fall over. Good reaction though. 3-pin knocks over the left corner pin.
So Herman has a 6-pin lead, and both bowlers strikes up here in 5.
Got that one a little bit far left again. Same thing that happened in the 2nd and 3rd frames. Tammi missing the head pin to the left. Forced it again that time. This will be the 2nd open frame for Tammi. Head pin in the 1st, and now this missed the head pin open frame.
Ooh, a little stumble. Oh, and manages to just pinch it enough to get the 15 count for a 131-36.
A little bit of a stick there at the foul line. We'll have to keep our eye on that one. Big exhale at the start of her approach here from Renee.
Oh, great kick.
Nice reaction. got throwing the ball pretty hard, so she's getting lots of reaction from the head pin. This one actually comes off the side wall. I think we'll see it here in the replay. Left hand
Standing
pocket.
up.
That was the three pin off the side wall.
Now this time.
Now she thought that was a great shot. Again, left hand lane. She makes a really good shot. Three pin went around the corner pin this time.
She sits down perfect.
This hurts. Well, it stops the momentum. I mean, that's the key. Doesn't necessarily hurt her in terms of win or lose, but stops the momentum.
Well, it could. This is a fairly tight match. Tammi Herman now with a chance to get back into the match and actually take the lead because of that open frame from Renee.
Now, Renee is a graduate of the youth bowling in our country. It's been going on for so many years. You can join a league, www.youthbowling.ca. www.youthbowling.ca to find out more about youth bowling in our country and where you might be able to sign up. Still having a problem with the line. It seemed even on that delivery.
You could see her foot went a little bit sideways, and that can come from a couple of things. It can come from something physical on the approach. You actually stick on it. It can also come from speed. If you get your feet moving too fast, the only way you can slow down is to go sideways.
Again, just
Now, that looks like a stick. She'll need to check her shoes and make sure she hasn't picked up any debris of any kind on off the approach. You can't afford to have an inconsistent slide. It affects timing. It affects the release of the bowling ball.
back-to-back opens. Good count though. Gets all the pins for a 146.
Frame, Tammi Herman. She needs a strike here to get back into this match. We're running out of frames.
That's better. Boy, even on the delivery, no good follow through. Their foot didn't jump. It was firmly planted.
Absolutely true. Look at the toe pointed straight down the line. No hesitation in that slide step at all.
What a release that was by Renee. You barely heard it.
She is so smooth releasing the ball. Like you say, she sets it down so early on the lane, almost behind the lane, in fact. But whisper quiet, great reaction, a little bit of a backup that time into the pocket.
This is going to be a good finish. Both bowlers strikes up an 8. Yeah, she's right.
Huge double there for Renee Laframboise.
And now Tammi Herman has to match.
Now Renee has a possible 304 if she can get 3 strikes in the 10th. Tammy's still got a possible 281, and she's going to finish first. If she can put 4 in a row here, or 5 in a row actually, to finish, she'll put some pressure back on Renee.
Now just a reminder again, and I can remember back when I was a youngster going to the Willow Bowl on Saturday mornings, and great remembrances of that time. If you're interested in youth bowling, there it is, www.youthbowling.ca.
Ouch. Well, unless something drastic happens here, that may be over for Tammi Herman. Not quite as smooth a slide that time. May have had an effect on the location of the bowling ball.
You know, and again, Bill, it's the difference of the format. You can win your $10,000 by what? Winning 4 games, basically.
That's right.
If you're playing in tournament play, well, to get here, you played a competition of 10 games. You might play 20 games to win a tournament over time. This is a blink of an eye by comparison.
It absolutely is, and you talk about having to make corrections very quickly. In the old pins game format, it was frame by frame. Boy, you had to make them immediately. Here, at least you got 10 frames, but if your opponent's bowling well, you can get buried real early. Tammi now with back-to-back head pins. And that's 3 in this game. Plus 3 times she missed the head pin. So, big factors.
Tammi, who bowls out of Revs in Maple Ridge, her league average 243, well below that, with a potential of 198.
Well, every time it seemed like she was going to get on a roll, she got interrupted. Strike, then she'd miss the head pin, come back with a chop off and a strike. Now 2 head pins here to finish this game.
Renee Laframboise bowls out of the Whitewater lanes in Azilda.
A little bit quick on that approach.
See that so often. I mean, you know you've gone through. You just lose focus just that little bit. You may not follow through quite as much. Your approach might be just a little bit off.
Well, there's that all of a sudden.
Decompression, right? Yeah, you're just letting out. You're just taking a breath. And so not the best of finishes for Renee Laframboise, but this 19-year-old making the move from youth bowling to senior play, women's play, holds a 233 to beat a very good one in Tammi Herman. And so now Renee will move on and play Chris Monchak when we come back. Chris Monchak, Renee Laframboise. One of these 2 ladies will become our second semifinals. Women's 5-pin play, the Canadian Bowling Championships here on TSN. And Chris Monchak will throw first by virtue of her 264, her win over Tracy Anseth. Laframboise winner, 233-198 over Tammi Herman.
And pretty solid first game for Chris. 8 for 11, 4 strikes. She was 2 for 2 on corner pins.
Oh, goodness. That 3 just skated by.
Talked it into that one. She knew it was going to be thick. Again, a little bit of rotation on the bowling ball breaks up that possible split. Right corner.
Hold on, it did.
Well, again, she moves over a little bit to the left-hand side of the lane and goes pretty much straight up at that, and she's waiting for the ball to break, and her curve, it would have taken the ball away from that corner pin. Another great shot from this young lady. She just doesn't seem to be bothered by the lights or the pressure or anything. And she's breaking up a lot of splits.
Yeah. Interesting, in that opening in her game against Tammi Herman, she was always around the head pin, yet never just punched the head pin.
No, she broke up a lot of stuff. She was 8 for 10 in the first game. She got 6 strikes and 2 corner pins. So she never left anything that was virtually unsparable. Chris, again, and all the bowlers making sure that they get the oil off the bowling ball so it doesn't affect their grip and how they release it. Knew it was there from the moment it crossed the arrows.
Age and experience, youth and vitality. That's the matchup here. You've got Chris Monchak from Winnipeg against Renee Laframboise from Zilda, Ontario. Monchak, the winner over Tracy Anseth from Cut Knife, Saskatchewan. Two very, very good bowlers.
Again, crosses the arrows. She knows she's missed it. Chris got a little different. She doesn't really bring the ball up in her approach. She holds it down low, almost forces her backswing to stay low, and then comes through with it. Low, not much backswing. Very smooth, nice and solid at the foul line, and she gets great extension. We'll see Renee, quite a difference in their arm swing and the height of their backswing. Renee throws the ball quite a bit harder. Sets it up chest height, pushes it up and away, and then big backswing.
Wow.
Lots of speed, lots of power. Nice and low at the foul line, and just a great release.
Overpowering it now.
Great double. Lane's mom, Renee, looking on. She's president of the Bowling Proprietors Association of Northern Ontario. Obviously, Renee has spent a lot of time in the center over the years.
Whitewater Lanes in Azilda.
Chris needs a strike here in the fourth. Keep pace.
The spare is still there, at least keeps her marks up.
Well, that was left of the head pin all the way, and Chris, with the curve, the ball breaks from right to left. Once you miss it left, it's not going to come back.
Okay. That hurts.
Looked like she had that in the right location on the lane. That time the ball broke harder into the head pin and she punched it straight back.
Advantages the score of the 15, but it's an untimely open for Chris Monchak, who now sits with 95. By comparison, look at Renee Laframboise with 2 strikes up in 3 and 4 and building count.
Renee with the lead in the match through these first 4 frames. Still time left, and one thing about Chris, she can throw a lot of strikes. There's the first one, got a bit of a break on it.
Sure was very fat, huh?
A little bit thick, but again, good release and follow through at the foul line. Ball's going to turn over just a little bit.
Working on 2. Got 3? Yes, she does.
Boy, just fire them. Great rotation on the ball, and that speed is breaking stuff up. One more time, 4 in a row for Renee Laframboise.
Her league average, 230. Her high game, a 375.
She's looking at a possible 420 if she
Wow.
could go all the way out, which would be the high game in TSN history. Little force maybe. Chris trying to get back to the pocket.
Always nice to be back with the bowling proprietors of Canada. That's Arnie Rollins, who is the president, and we want to say thank you to all of them: Bob Randall, Mariana McConey, Kyle Hale, Ryan Sargent, for their continuing support of the game in our country. Trying to force it a little bit, Chris Monchak.
Could be. That's 2 opens in a row on that lane 34 in the 4th frame. She missed the head pin twice. This time, maybe trying to force it a little bit. Punches it straight back.
You know, it's not unlike some team games when you think about it. Certainly the pressure is there from your opponent, and she sees it from Renee with 4 strikes up. You try sometimes to get it all back at once, when you should maybe, and it's too easy, and you know as a coach, 1 ball, 1 frame at a time.
That's right. And especially, you know, we're only into the 5th frame. There's really lots of time left in this match. Anything can happen. 3rd strike of the match for Chris Monchak. Great reaction. Right hand pocket that time, and with the curve, the ball's breaking into the pocket.
Now Renee here has a great pin count going. If you're Chris Monchak, you need her to miss, and she just won't right now.
The way she's throwing the ball, she's just not making any mistakes. And if she's making a little mistake, we don't really see it. She's got such good rotation on the ball and speed.
Look at the strikes up. I mean, marks and everything, then 6 of 7 are strikes.
Little bit quick that time. The ball just skidded on her. Never made a move back to the pocket. It was left all the way.
Wow.
Small opening here.
Wow. Very small, but it's an opening. And it's the first time we've seen Renee struggle at all, if you can consider 1 frame a struggle. But it just saws off. She'll manage the 15, but that just saws off the pin count.
Well, now it's up to Chris. She's got a strike up in 7. She's going to bowl here in 8 and 9. She has to have a double. She's still got a possible 312. She gets the double. What kind of effect that'll have on Renee and how she throws the ball? Well, forced it again on that right-hand lane here at Silver Dollar. 2nd head pin in a row.
Yeah, she looks at the scoreboard and knows she's in trouble. Oh, yes. Well, I'll tell you what, you got to hand it to Renee Laframboise. There's that old saying about youth not knowing. No. Yes.
Yes, Chris, unfortunately, only 5. And you're right about youth not knowing, but
you know, another time out here, she might be just shaking in her boots. But right now, she's just fearless.
well, and she got off to such a great start. That helps, you know, and she had 6 strikes in the first match. She knows she's got the ability. The pinfall here has been good. She's carrying everything that gets close to the pocket. That builds confidence. I mean, your opponent struggles a little bit. There's no pressure coming back on you from that outside.
good cover by Chris Monchak. But Renee Laframboise has just looked so good. And she will become our second semifinalist. That was a bad break. I thought that might even come off the wall.
And that's what we've seen. It's been typical, the speed and the rotation she gets. Even when she's been thick, she's getting the breaks off the side wall.
375, we mentioned her career high. She has the potential now for a 345, but at one point in time, had she been able to strike out, she was destined for a 420. But then that open in 8 and just quickly brought that to an end.
But then she came right back. She made a great shot in the 9th frame here. Second corner pin, and she's 2 for 2. So this has been a really solid game for Renee.
Now, it just maybe, I don't know, but that last ball, but she's got the follow through, but she's also got what appears to me a little bit of a quick with the wrist at the end as well.
She does flick her wrist at the end of it, and you watch her in her backswing. She's actually got the bowling ball cupped in her wrist as it gets to the top of her backswing. And as she comes through, she'll make that release. Here's the cup, turns it inside out, which should make the ball back up just a little bit.
For the 15 count and a 305. What a great game.
To this replay, see the wrist in the backswing, cupped and a little bit to the outside.
So Chris Monchak will finish up here. Potential 232 for Monchak. See it so often in all sports. Pressure's off, and suddenly you're up there loose, throwing. That all sort of comes so easily now.
Becomes a little bit easier when you're not forcing it.
Chris Monchak will wind up with a 222. But what a story, Renee Laframboise. In her first major championship in women's play, this 19-year-old has become our second semifinalist from Azilda, Ontario. Renee Laframboise.